Good afternoon, genetics class. My name is Gabby Wagner, and today I will be discussing the genetic mutation known as polydactyly, specifically in felines. What is polydactyly? Polydactyly is a condition in which a person, or animal in this case, has more than 5 fingers or toes on one or each hand or foot, and is considered a genetic deformity. What had made me interested in polydactyly? Well, I actually work in the veterinary field and was first introduced to polydactyly when a client had brought in the patient. I was told that there was something I absolutely needed to see in treatment, and once I arrived, the doctor showed me that this feline had more than 5 digits on 2 of its paws, as seen in the picture. This was the first time of working in the veterinary field that I had seen anything like this, so I began to research, and this is what I found. Polydactyly, also known as hyperdactyly or hexadactyly, is the most common form of gene mutation of the limbs. Polydactyly was first identified in the 16th century, where they called it superfluous fingers. And as I said earlier, this is a mutation of having extra digits. There are 3 different types of polydactyly, the first being preaxial polydactyly. This is referred to as having extra digits on the thumb. The second, central polydactyly, is having extra digits on the ring, middle, and index fingers. And finally, the last being postaxial polydactyly. This occurs on the pinky finger. Are the digits fully functioning? While the movement of the extra digits varied, there can be complete movement, incomplete movement, or it is just an extra piece of tissue that is non-motile. During this presentation, we will be focusing on preaxial polydactyly as the most common place for felines to have an extra digit. What are some characteristics? During my research, I found that polydactyly is heterogeneous deformity, it is autosomal dominant, it is inherited from a parent to offspring, and is non-syndromic. And this all begins on the gene known as the GLI3 gene. The GLI3 gene occurs during the early stages of development in the womb. And according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the first protein that are involved in the GLI attach to the DNA region that contains the gene expression. This gene has the responsibility of growth, cell specialization, and the patterning structures such as the brain and limbs. This is referred to as sonic hedgehog. This is just a picture I wanted to insert for more reference of what polydactyly would look like underneath an x-ray. What allele is responsible? There are 2 regulatory sequences involved in limb development. During the sequencing of the 2 genes, it was discovered that the inheritance pattern of polydactyly is on the HW allele, meaning this is a dominant trait. Through generations, this is often found in the feline breed known as Maine Coons. However, there are 2 other breeds examined to identify the common ancestor. Polydactyly can also be found on other mammals, including humans. What other felines were tested? These were just the most identified as I found. As we know, the Maine Coons being the most identified, the Pixie Bobs, and the Hemingways. The experiment that was needed to identify polydactyly first began when the scientists used genotyping assay, the process of determining the differences in genotyping by examining the DNA of an individual's DNA sequence. Using the biological assay and comparing it to another individual's sequencing, this revealed the alleles individuals have inherited from their parents. To discover the variants that were involved in the mutation, they did so by examining the different generations from Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. When the scientists did a segregation analysis to identify the inheritance pattern of the mutation, they then analyzed the population structure. The results concluded that the inheritance patterns revealed in the genotype and phenotype all streamed from Maine Coons. This then spread from crossbreeding, leading to offspring having the dominant allele for polydactyly. Now, some of you may be thinking, is there any health issues, concerns, or treatment that need to be taken as a precaution for polydactyly? The short answer is no. There is no need to worry about having an extra digit. While this is considered a birth defect, there comes no precautions that need to be taken in order to ensure the best health for your feline or any other animal. It can actually act as a health benefit as it can help increase balance, climb, hunt, and catch prey more efficiently. So instead of worrying about your pet having an extra digit, potentially look at it as having a lucky paw, just like Nemo did in Finding Nemo. These are just a few of my citations that I used throughout this PowerPoint. Thank you for your time.